Hello again, it's your friendly neighborhood host JT Wheatley back for another episode of the History Comics Podcast, this time with another edition of the Classics with the story Daredevil, Guardian Devil by Kevin Smith and Joe Quesada, which is a now classic run on the Daredevil Volume 2, which is the first eight issues that was released from November of 1998 to June of 1999. That was part of the relaunched Marvel Knights line, in which Joe Quesada was essentially made editor-in-chief of a small group of comics. It was Daredevil, Punisher, Black Panther, and the Inhumans, and which were at the time during this time these comics were down in the dumps. No one was reading them, and given a chance to revive them in more innovative ways. And of course, the flagship that was their run on Daredevil, which with Kevin Smith, the filmmaker Kevin Smith from Clerks and Chasing Amy and so forth, taking over the writing. And this is just a great read in general that really does a great job of reviving Daredevil, getting back to his roots, but also pushing him in new directions. That it plays on both his history of as a superhero, also being a Catholic, as he gets a seemingly supernatural threat in his life when a child that supposedly is born from immaculate conception is placed in his guardianship, while his family and friends are all targeted from mysterious ways. And it's just a great read in general with some great art by Joe Quesada. Of course, this is series that was unfortunately infamous for its very late run. This is between your Kevin Smith and Joe Quesada as an artist. You can really never tell which one is which. Of course, Kevin Smith will go on to have a celebrated run on Green Arrow, and that was famous for DC reportedly telling him you have to have at least 10 scripts in the bank before that will publish the first comic, which probably makes it more like it was Kevin Smith. He's notoriously late, as he himself admits, but Joe Quesada is just the same way. Ask him where Daredevil father has been all this time. But this run still is a great classic, and especially now it's been collected, so you don't have to worry about the individual issues. It's a great read, great art, really gets back in the heart of Daredevil and what he actually believes in. And of course, it's a series that, for better or worse, has influenced all the media since then. It was, of course, a big influence on the Daredevil movie starring Ben Affleck. Reportedly, Kevin Smith even got Ben Affleck cast as Daredevil. That movie, since the Netflix series, has not aged as well. And let's be honest, Ben Affleck, though, went on to be a fantastic Batman. Still, in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound live-action Batman we've ever had on screen. And this comic book is still, a great read in general. So, go back and pick this up. And this is a significant comic, not only for being a great read, but also was Kevin Smith's introduction to mainstream comics as a writer, but also Joe Quesada as running the Marvel Knights line. This was his launching point to taking over as the Marvel editor-in-chief and basically running Marvel one of his best eras in the 2000s. So, Daredevil, Guardian, a great read and a true classic, so definitely pick up when you can.
Great things are coming on the Nerd Bliss podcast. We're changing up our presentation while keeping the candidness that you enjoy. We'll cover all your favorite shows and movies, with maybe a few surprises along the way. And you, yes you, will have opportunities to be on our show on a regular basis. That's right, you've got the Zoom Pro account, and we're going to use it. So be ready. Find us at nerdblisspodcast.com and esonetwork.com, and on all the socials at NerdBlissPod. Nerd Bliss. Listen up.
Now is August 5th, 2021. Time for the favorite comic book of the week. Crossover, number 7 by Chip Zdarsky and Phil Hester, which finds a new story arc in this series about a world in which all the comic book characters are suddenly coming to life and coming into the real world, in which Chip Zdarsky actually makes himself a character as he basically is on the run from a serial killer that seemingly is killing off comic book creators. And he gets a surprising ally, which, when you think about it, actually fits into the rules of this new comic book universe. And it's a really great twist and a fantastic take on the whole story of crossover in general. And Chip Zdarsky does a great job. This comic gets meta upon meta. I mean, you just have to read it to see where he goes. And it's fantastic, and it's matched greatly by Phil Hester's always cartooning but dynamic storytelling in his artwork. And granted, I will say this about crossover: it's a comic book made for comic book fans. So if you're not familiar with a lot of the comic book characters and lore that are mentioning in this comic, I wouldn't recommend picking it up. But if you are a longtime comic book fan like me, this is a must-read. Great references to the characters and the creators and the history of comics in general. And that cliffhanger is fantastic. So yeah, crossover number 7, definitely worth picking up. And that's it for this week. So join me again next week. We'll probably be doing another classic. And until then, go out and enjoy yourself a good comic book. And among those, check out Daredevil Guardian, because that is a true classic.